Why, hello everyone, welcome back to yet another Cinder's Daily Ramble video. Today in the background I'm playing Gunfire Reborn, which is a really cool game. It's a level-based adventure game with FPS stuff, roguelite, it has like RPG elements, and you can play as different animal characters that are like heroes. They all have different abilities and they're very cool characters. Very cool. I'm playing as the character Lynn at the moment, which is like a ice type hero, I think. I don't really quite understand how she works at the moment, but yeah. But if this is a game you guys think you might be interested in, check it out on Steam. But anyways, today instead of having a topic to talk about, I want to ask a question to you guys, and I guess to myself as well. And that is, what do you want to do with your life? And this is a question that I think a lot of people struggle a lot with, because it's really not that simple to figure out. And I guess because you guys can't really answer me at the very moment, let me know in the comments, by the way. But for me, figuring out what I wanted to do with my life is something I only figured out like a couple of years ago, maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. I'm 28, by the way, if you guys didn't know. But it took a long time to figure out. It really did. And what I just like magically, like, I guess, figured out someday is just, hey, I really enjoy making people have a better time. I like making people feel happier, or yeah, I just really want to make people have a better time on this planet, and the means of which how I do that is kind of like up to me, I suppose. I think actually the reason why I want to make people feel better and stuff is when I was growing up, I was watching a lot of YouTube, a lot of content on the internet, and when I was having a very bad time or a bad day, like, they would always cheer me up and make me feel a bit better, maybe even make my day, make me laugh and stuff. And I think this is what has inspired me to make content myself. And I think honestly it's been within me all along, the desire to help people or just make their day better. I think it's always been there, because obviously making people have a better time or make them laugh or anything, it feels good. And I definitely know how it feels to be down, to not feel good. And if I can do anything to change that and make someone else feel better, it gives me a lot of joy and a lot of meaning. And that's what it's all about, I think. And of course, what you want to do with your life could be literally anything. Like, it doesn't even have to involve other people. It could just be, oh, I just wanna play video games all my life. And that's cool too. If you want to do that, hell yeah, more power to you. But how do you actually figure out what it is you want to do with your life? And for me, I just happened to just kind of magically think about it, and I was like, oh yeah, I kind of enjoy doing this. And maybe it's different for you. I think a way you can help yourself figure out what it is you want to do is just think about it. Like, think about what gives you joy, what makes you happy, or like what would you like to do? What do you want to be? A billionaire? do you want to help people? Do you want to just play a video game, make a game, write a book? And if you really don't know what you want to do, I recommend you expose yourself to different things. Try different hobbies, go hang out with different people, try to learn something new, learn a skill. Go do some research. There's a lot of things out there that you can do, and there's a lot of things you can work towards, and a lot of things that could be what you want to do with your life. And one thing I also want to say is that this really shouldn't stress anyone out, because sometimes we don't know, and it's okay. It really is. Just relax for a second, breathe, and trust me, like, eventually you will just know. You will get this almost like a calling of like, hey, this is what you want to do. And sometimes it takes just trying something new, something different. Maybe you just get a bike and you start biking and you just really like it, and maybe that is what you want to do. So like I said, just try to expose yourself to different hobbies or stuff like that. And maybe you'll find something that gives you meaning or makes you just, oh, this is what I want to do, you know? So if you know what it is you want to do with your life, then if you haven't already gotten to like do that, I suggest you obviously go ahead and try to do it. You know, if it's a job you want to do, or you want to make something or be creative, do whatever, go for it. And if you already know what you want to do with your life and you're doing it, then I am cheering for you. I hope it's going well. I hope it's really fun and amazing for you. And if you don't know what to do, trust me, it will just come to you. You will have a moment like I did where it just exposes itself to you, and that's, you know, that's how it be sometimes. But I guess another thing worth mentioning is that, you know, for example, I really like making people feel better, having a better day and all that stuff, like I said. And you could do stuff with that. You know, you could, for example, like me, you could try to stream or make videos, but there's also a lot of different ways to make people happy and have a better time and everything. You could be a doctor, you could be a psychologist, you could just heckin', I don't know, be fucking, I don't know, be a clown or something. It's just fucking try to make people laugh. Alright, so a little TLDR for this is that if you don't know what you want to do at all, just wait around, try some different stuff, figure out what it is that you're good at, maybe something that makes you happy or gives you joy, and maybe you'll figure that out. You'll figure out what you want to do. And if you already know what you want to do, but you haven't like thought of like how to do this for a living or do this your entire life, then, you know, try to think about it. You know, for example, like I said, if you want to make people laugh, obviously you could be a comedian, you could do whatever. And if you already know what you want to do and you're doing it, then good for you. Heck yeah, that's awesome. All right, so another little thing I want to mention before this video ends is that when you figure out what it is you want to do and you're doing it, keep in mind that there will be times where you stumble, there will be times where you feel like a failure or nothing is going right. And I want you to know that failing and stumbling and stuff is just a step towards improving and becoming better. And there's nothing wrong with failure either. I think a lot of people have this thing in their mind where they're like, oh, I'm failing, oh, everything sucks. And they don't think about like what you can take from the failure itself, because there's a lot of value in failing as well. There really is. You can think about what you did wrong, you can learn from your mistakes, and I think that's a pretty good way to go about it. And yeah, like I said, just don't get discouraged if something goes wrong. You know, for me, having streamed for like 3 years nearly, there's been a lot of times where I felt like a failure. There's been a lot of times where I felt like, you know, I'm not doing good, I'm not being myself, or I've just had some really low lows. And sometimes that's just what happens. But it's what you do with those moments, those situations where things are just crumbling. That is what makes you grow and become a better person. And yeah, like when those things happen, just say to yourself, okay, what can I learn from this? How can I make sure this doesn't happen in the future? Or, you know, just thinking about stuff like that instead of just, you know, accepting defeat or failure and just feeling miserable, because there is a lot of good things to learn from failure. And something I've learned very recently actually is that what I view as a failure to someone else is like, you know, good enough and successful even. And that's something it's been really weird for me, because I will admit lately I've had a lot of streams where I've just gotten quite angry and just felt like I wasn't being the best streamer I could be. But I've had some really nice people in my streams tell me that despite, you know, despite me being angry or not feeling like I'm being myself, they're enjoying it, and they don't look at it as a failure. And maybe that's something about perception and how I view things, and maybe even it's my mindset. But one thing I've definitely noticed lately is that I've been very hard on myself, and maybe even expecting a little bit too much of myself. And you know, just hearing from people in my streams, it really makes me realize that I am good enough, and I am doing good. And I think sometimes, like even when we're doing good, sometimes like we're just kind of mean to ourselves. We just expect so much out of ourselves that it's like it's so it's so unrealistic, to the point where even if you're succeeding, in your head you're like, oh, I'm failing, I suck, everything is going wrong. And so you know, I just want to say thank you to anyone that's been so like nice to me in my streams and have been there for me, and you know, told me that I'm doing a good job. And I want to tell anyone listening that you too are doing good enough. You're doing a good job. And maybe it's worth it to kind of like ask your friends or someone you trust. If you feel like you're failing, ask them, hey man, do you think I'm failing at this? Am I doing a bad job with this thing? And you know, just getting a outside perspective on what you're doing could maybe really help you feel better, and maybe even help you see it from a different perspective that allows you to not view it as such a failure anymore. But yeah, this is about what I wanted to say in this video. I want to go ahead and thank you all so much for all the support, subscribing, liking the videos, and just for being so awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I hope that this video has been helpful for you, and I hope you have a very amazing, beautiful day or night, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.